Welcome, Evangelism on Fire listeners, to today's special pod episode 307. Listen, this is the very last podcast episode of Evangelism on Fire, and I've left the best for last. I have a special guest with us today. His name is Kevin Bordeaux. Man, you're going to absolutely love this podcast interview with Kevin Bordeaux, my good friend. Listen, huge announcement. Next week, the Evangelism on Fire podcast officially becomes the Mark Thomas podcast. Hey, our mission remains the same. Let me say that one more time. Our mission remains the same. We're going to continue to proclaim the gospel, fulfill the Great Commission, and equip believers to confidently share their faith in Jesus with others. But the vision is expanding through podcasts, YouTube, digital evangelism, discipleship, Bible teaching, and ministry resources to reach more people than ever before. Listen, we believe the gospel still changes lives. Jesus still saves lives. People are still searching, and eternity is still at stake. I want to thank you for praying, listening, sharing, and supporting the Evangelism on Fire podcast ministry for the last 6 years. Man, you have been a huge part of this journey, and we're excited for what God is going to do next. Over the next 7 days, I want you to join me in prayer. Pray for the Mark Thomas Ministries and the Mark Thomas podcast. Share the podcast and invite your family, your friends, and your church to join us. Let's make next week's launch our biggest yet. Listen, you don't need to do anything to continue listening. Let me say that one more time. You don't need to do anything to continue listening. Simply stay subscribed to the same podcast feed. Next week, the very first episode of the Mark Thomas podcast will automatically appear in your podcast app. The countdown is almost over. Only one more week. The best is yet to come. Until next time, keep living to tell what Jesus died and resurrected to say. And I'll see you next week on the very first episode of the Mark Thomas Ministries podcast. Listen, at this time, let's jump into episode 307 with the one and only Kevin Bordeaux. Welcome, Evangelism on Fire listeners, to today's special landmark podcast episode. Listen, this is our last Evangelism on Fire podcast episode in history. And you know, you got to save the best for the last. Come on now. And I have a special guest with me today. He was on episode 100, and now he's on the last episode of Evangelism on Fire podcast. This is episode 307. Ooh. Yeah, we have Kevin Bordeaux with us. Kevin, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great, man. It's an honor to be with you.
Man, it's an honor to have you with us today. This is a super special episode. So I want my audience to know who you are. So the first question I have for you is, who is Kevin Bordeaux?
You sound like my therapist. I feel like I should lay on a couch like, who is Kevin Bordeaux? Who is he? Again, I'm a, first of all, a Christ follower, love the Lord, love Jesus. Secondarily, I'm a husband. I love my wife, Caroline. And then I'm a father. I have a biological son, Dawson, and a bonus son named Brooks. And then I'm a pastor. I pastor Thrive Church. I get to serve alongside of you, and we have the best thing ever going, and we get to serve the Lord together. And then also, I am a health and wellness coach and have my own company that I just started called Haplotes Health. So hopefully that gives you a rundown of who is Kevin Bordeaux.
Awesome, awesome. And listen, the next question I have for you, I've been waiting to ask this question to you. I mean, I know the answer, but my audience needs to know this answer. What motivated you to begin working out, focusing on your health and fitness?
Yeah, it was right after my son was born, and I was extremely overweight, and I wanted to do things differently. And so just kind of I stumbled into some advice of just drinking a protein drink first thing in the morning, eating meat and vegetables. And so I did that, and then I ran myself to death. I played basketball 5 or 6 days a week. I ran 3 or 4 days a week. I did everything wrong, but I did lose a lot of weight. I probably lost overall 60 pounds, but I was skinny fat. With that. So I'd lost weight, but I still didn't look great. So anyway, I kind of started that journey, and that was, but with my son being born, and then being 37 years old, and being, I was just getting just more and more obese, man, and feeling worse and worse, and just something clicked. I was like, I want to try something. I've got to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you and I, we come from a similar background. I take health and fitness very seriously as you do. Back when I started, we didn't have YouTube like present day, right?
Yeah,
And I had personal trainers that trained me in the gym about personal health and fitness, how to work out with weights, nutrition, all that. So, one thing that really just inspired me is you will take a YouTube teaching, you applied it into your life, and you went laser focused and you totally committed your life, totally dedicated your life to transforming your body and your health.
yeah,
And I just found that fascinating that you did that just by YouTube, YouTube channels and YouTube videos. And I remember telling you one day, like, man, that's pretty wild that you've done that
yeah,
just through YouTube. And he said, well, you know what? I think it would be crazy if you had all this information on YouTube and you don't take advantage of it.
absolutely.
And I said, well, that's true. That's true. So, what inspired you to start your own health and fitness company? And what problem are you passionate about solving?
Well, before I can answer that question, I do want to go into, because I lost a bunch of weight the wrong way, and I kind of left you there. But yeah,
Yeah.
about 41 years old, I was just going to the gym and making my own workouts up. I had no clue what I was doing. I was trying to sweat, do cardio weights. I was just, and I was doing that, and of course, it's good. It's not bad for your health to do that, but I didn't know what I was doing resistance training wise. I remember being at Disney. I just ran and got in trouble for running outside with a mask on, mind you, by myself. They stopped me in a golf cart and said, "Put your mask on while you run." I told the guy, I said, "Dude, you can take the magic out of the Magic Kingdom, can't you?" And I got back to the little cabin there, and I started doing push-ups and sit-ups, and my body just wasn't changing. And I had friends who were competing in, bodybuilding competitions and all that. And I was just really frustrated. And the Lord is so good. I didn't know what to do or where to go. And I don't know how I stumbled into it, but I stumbled into Mike Matthews, Legion Athletics, and Muscle for Life. And I was like, wow. And I just began to learn, listen to podcasts. And then around that same time, Keith, our good friend, and you guys are campus pastors, he was doing carb cycling. And so he had this little formula you could figure out what your all your and I learned how to like track everything. So I started carb cycling. And so listen to Mike Matthews, that was straight science, man. It wasn't, I think, feel, believe, like it was not running circles. Everything was absolutely on point. And so I understood what to do with lifting. I took what I learned from his programs and created my own program. And then I learned how to calculate my calories and my macros and all of that. And once I understood the programming parts, this is the science to it. This is the science to tracking. The rest was history. Within 6 months, my body was beginning to recomp. And I actually, for the first time ever, began to actually have a real like man shape, like an Avenger, not like Homer Simpson shape, And so, yeah. So once I learned that, man, it just became a passion for me because I was like, man, I didn't know what I was doing at all. I didn't know. I thought you had to run 10 miles a day to be healthy. I had no clue. So that really sparked something inside of me. And so I started just posting online and helping people and doing all that. And throughout the years, I've kind of just, through DMs and stuff, helped people or walk them through things. But, recently, I'm just learning more and more about the health and fitness industry, seeing people not know what to do. It really is like, man, I want to help people. And then the peptide space opened up, and I was able to help people, that were elderly, had some really bad health conditions, high blood pressure, blood sugars, heart conditions, diverticulitis, am I say that right? Rheumatoid arthritis, all this stuff, and watched it disappear. I watch grown people cry and say, I feel the best I've felt in years. Doctors couldn't heal me.
Mm,
And so it just lit a fire into me. Is that like number one, man, people just don't know what they don't know. And now if
hmm
you give the information, they reject you, that's on them. And there's people all the time rejecting you about strength training, and reject about nutrition. You don't need that much protein. And he's just a fanatic, or peptides aren't safe. And you know, say all those things. But when you're seeing people get their life change with it, like when I write a workout program and somebody checks back in and shows me, like dudes do, women don't do this, but you know, the guys I write for, they'll send a picture and say, look where I was here, now I'm there. It inspired me, man. I think the issue is what really burns me up is there's so many lies in the fitness industry, so much deception, where you're being told to intermittent fast, drink apple cider vinegar, or you know, go do these P90X workouts, 75 hards, and people just cannot find traction. They'll find some temporary relief, but it really hurts me, Mark. It's almost like biblical illiteracy drives me crazy.
mm,
The
yeah,
fact that it's so simple, but the fitness world makes it so complicated to make money off people. And so, I mean, I've had people taking supplements I look at and say, guys, this does nothing for you. Do you understand you need to take creatine for your brain health? Not me. This stuff here, I go through it. It's like, it does nothing. They're like, really? So I think the illiteracy out there and people don't know what they don't know just inspires me to help them, because here's what I do know. If you can get your physical life in order and you begin to get your body optimal with your hormones and with your, you know, your foundation of strength training and food, everything else comes together. So that's kind of what inspired me, man. So recently seeing people just find freedom, I'm like, dude, I really want to help people and get simple information to them.
yeah, absolutely. And you know what? You've been helping people for years. You have been giving workout programs. You've been helping people with nutrition. I mean, you've been for free, for no cost. You've been giving out this information and people don't know the amount of work that goes into this, right?
Yes, yes,
You've been giving information out to people, your friends, people out our church, both our locations. And look, I've seen not only your physical transformation over the years, but I'm seeing people at both our Thrive Church campuses just transform physically and spiritually. So I want to acknowledge you for that. You know, I was talking with someone yesterday at our Richmond City campus, and I said, "Man, you're looking good, brother." And you know what he said? He said, "Well, you know what? I'm not following the program that Pastor Kevin sent to me 100%, but I'm following it the best I can." I said, "Brother, just think about what you would look like and how your body would transform if you were following it 100%." He said, "Man, I'm trying to get a little bit better every day." But man, you've been giving out this information. You're on fire to get people healthy.
yes,
And I've seen that progress over the years. And you have launched your own
yeah,
company. I
yep,
mean, come on, man.
yep.
And it's amazing. So you told us a little bit, but what really inspired you to start your own health and fitness company?
Yeah, yeah.
And
So,
what problems are you passionate about solving
well,
the
again,
most?
oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, solving the problems, people's most, you know, pressing issues. I think for me, called it haplotes because in the Greek, that's a word that Jesus even used for singular. You know, for your eye, if it's single, it's simple, it's focused. And I want to help people get laser focused. I want them to get the right information to them. Your nutrition, your strength training, supplementation, peptides. You need, you know, those four things matter. So for me, I think the reason I started it was, you know, I learned so much in the health and fitness space, and becoming 47 years old, you know, and I'm getting older. I was like, well, man, what comes next with nutrition? What comes next with hormone optimization, all that? And then I fell into the peptide space. I was like, man, this is it. I began to understand human biology. I never understood it. So understanding human biology like changed my life, where I could be like, man, this, I understand how the body works. And then you start seeing, you kind of behind the scenes. I feel really, it's almost like, you know, again, Jesus looking at people, yeah, as a sheep without a shepherd, kind of that same thing in the fitness space, where you're
Yeah.
watching people go to the doctor for high blood pressure, and they give them a you know a pill to be able to just thin your blood out or do this or that, and they're not fixing the issues. And what they do is they hurt the other issues, and then you start realizing how all this stuff works together. And when it hits you, you're like, wow, it did. And I said, man, I want to be able to truly help people restore their metabolic health and their mitochondrial health, their gut health. Like, not just build a good foundation, but now we can start adding some things on top of it. So I got really passionate about like the same thing with fitness and nutrition. I didn't know how to calculate. I didn't know how to do proper workouts. Now finding out supplementation and with peptides, all those together as we age, man, we can age gracefully. And so that's kind of what inspired me, man. It's like sheep without a shepherd. It just breaks my heart to watch people. Man, I went to, a camping resort park in Myrtle Beach with my wife and our kids and her parents, right? And her brother and sister. It was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And I grew up in a rural South. So I understand there's not really a health consciousness there. They're kind of like, I don't care. I'll eat sausage, biscuits, and die. But visit me in the hospital, though. Pray for me. That's how it is, right? Don't care.
Yeah.
I eat what I want to, die somehow. So, but being there at that pool, the public places I'm at are usually like a gym. I play basketball or church. I don't go to big public places, maybe a restaurant sometimes. But I'm gonna tell you what, man, the amount of obese people, and not just I'm a little obese on what I'm doing, the amount of it was mind-boggling the amount of fat that was on people. And this is not to shame people, it's not to hurt people. I've been there. It's a sign that your body is getting ready to completely break down on you. And it broke
Yeah.
my heart, Mark. It just broke my heart. And that's, I was like, man, I want to help people that this can be changed and this has to be changed. And to watch the little children that were obese, little children that were full of fat, and now they're insulin resistant, they're eating garbage, and then it's going to mess their gut health up. And you're going to find them having anxiety issues, depression issues, all of that because of gut health. So it just
Yeah.
inspires you, man. I want to be able to go to give people simple information who really don't know what they're doing. Now, I can help advanced bodybuilders. I can help strength trainers. I can help people get to the next level who need that. And I love that. But so many fitness guys talk way up here. And you get somebody says, well, I don't even know what a rep is. I don't know what progressive overload is. I don't know what failure is. I don't even know, they have no idea what this stuff even means.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring everything down to say, how can I help the people who are just like me, who are trying their best but don't know what to do?
Yeah. That's so good. So 3 things I got from what you just said. Number 1, you used to be not only out of shape, but were you borderline obese at one point in your life?
I wasn't borderline. I was obese. Yeah.
No borderline at all.
No
You were
borderline. Yeah.
you were obese.
It's pretty
So
fat.
you
Yeah.
know how it feels when someone's obese. That's one of the reasons why you're so passionate.
Yeah. And yeah, let me say this real quick. Yeah. And I didn't know what I didn't know. I just thought
Yeah.
this is my genetics. I'm going to be this way the rest of my life. There's no hope. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and so I want you to zero in. I think it's important for the audience to know more about the name of your company, Haplotes Health. You just broke it down a minute ago, but it's so good. I want the audience to hear this again, the meaning of that word, Haplotes.
Yes. Singular or simple, focus. So it's not like we're all over the map with stuff. I want to cut through all the noise that's out there, all that noise, and to give you the simple facts, how you calculate your macros, how you track it, progressive overload, 3 days a week in the gym, what that looks like for you. I want to take the complex fitness world and make it simple for the everyday person to reach their goals. It's simply that. I mean, it's how do I take something very complex and make it very simple so people can apply? It's just like teaching the Bible too. You take these really
Yeah,
complex things. Well, I can't understand the Bible. Well, yes, you can. How do I make it simple so then they can go do it? Just like your Bible, they can go read it every day. So they can take these simple things and go and hopefully, Mark, here's my greatest thing. We're called as believers to go make disciples. So disciples should make disciples. The disciples I'm making in Haplotes Health, I want them to go and disciple others with
so
health and
good.
fitness, right? So then they carry this
So
same
good.
mantra, say, hey, listen, you got to hear what I've heard. And they start talking and they start sharing. And that's my ultimate desire. It multiplies.
Yeah. Come on, man. That is so good, man. You're getting me
Yeah.
fired up. So the next thing is, I want people to know that you can help people at all different levels.
Hmm.
You can help beginners to advanced athletes,
Yes.
advanced bodybuilders. Speak a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So again, I'm going to really want to work with people who are beginning things too, like to get the foundation built. And so my goal is to help those people and help them figure out, well, what do I do? Like, for instance, one of the posts I put was, if you're brand new to health and fitness, the number one thing you got to build is consistency. Like, I don't care if you go to the gym and sit there and watch your phone for an hour, 3 days a week. I want you to go at the same time. I'm serious. I am serious.
Yeah,
Go,
come on.
go,
I hear
go
you.
sit in the foyer and watch your phone do this for 3 months. And if you want to walk on a treadmill, go walk on a treadmill, but don't go lift. I want you to get in the habit of that gym is sacred time. So it's about building habits. The second thing is I want
Yeah.
you walking anywhere from 7 to 10,000 steps a day. That's your goal. The third thing you're going to do is start understanding how to track your food. Because people know what food costs them. They go, well, I ate a big handful of pistachios. Like, man, it's like 400 calories. You know,
Come on.
or
Yeah.
I'm snacking on this, I'm snacking on that. Learn what
Yeah.
food costs you. We're not taught what food costs us. And so I can look at a donut and that's 300 calories. That's about, what was it, 20 grams of fat and 2 grams of protein and about 35 carbs. I remember that, right? I do love donuts.
Yeah.
But
Come on.
if I eat that, I understand what this is, what it's costing me. And people just
Yeah.
go shovel food down and have no idea what it cost them. So my goal is to help the people who don't know what to do, to build that foundation of consistency. And then for those who are already lifting, who are already doing it, what they need is some tweaks. If they will just humble themselves, a lot of guys come to me and show me the workout plan and want to tell me how impressed they are with themselves. If they would just shut up for 5 minutes and say, "Can I help you?" Because overtraining for advanced people is a big issue. They overtrain.
Mm,
There's
yeah.
guys in the gym all the time, Mark, and I mean, they're injured all the time. And I say, "You do way more than I do." They're like, "I want to look like you." It's like, "You do way more than I do." So to help the advanced guys to understand the 5% or 20% they need to get to the next level, they've already built the consistency, right, at the gym. How do you get to that next level? So I think my goal for every person on any level is how do I help you just get to the next level? Because you don't go from level 1 of just walking or going to the gym and sitting and watching your phone, building consistency to level 10 overnight. People,
Yeah.
as a coach, I don't tell people what I do. I tell them what I did. Very important. If I take somebody who's brand new right now and try to get them to do everything I do, they're going to quit. It's, the best way to paralyze a lion, hold a chair up, right? You hold that
Yeah.
chair up
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they get paralyzed. So what do? I want to build one thing at a time. So a lot of people I'm working with is like, okay, cool. Let's get you jump started with weight loss and fat loss. And yes, we can use that peptide for that, but you got to build the foundation. Let's get you walking. Let's get you just tracking food to see what food costs you. So it's getting that person from level 1, just like evangelism. If they're a U5 I talked about and they're really unchurched,
Yeah.
you're not taking somebody who's an atheist to get them saved in one conversation. It may take several. I want to get them to the next level and then the next level.
Yeah. So good. So good. And look, since you mentioned that, if you want to know what U5 is and if you want to hear Kevin's teaching on evangelism, look, you got to go back to episode 100. You got to listen to that. All right. So after you listen and watch this episode, go back to episode 100 and learn how to evangelize according to Pastor Kevin's training, some of the best training ever. So make sure you catch that episode. So in the gym, what's the biggest mistake you see people make when they're trying to lose weight or just get healthy? What's the biggest mistake you see people make?
Okay. This is a lot, but we're going to unpack it. I'm going to make it simple, right? I make complex things simple. That's what we do.
Come on.
Number one, don't get your cousin or your husband or your brother or sister to write you a workout plan. Unless they are jacked and they know what they're doing and can walk you through what it all means and explain it to you, don't do the guesswork. That's what I did. I just guessed, and I spun my wheels. Number one, find a good quality program that will get you to where you need to go, right? The second thing that I see guys doing all the time and messing up is not just the gym, but if you're in the gym and you do have a quality program and you're lifting, you've got to hit protein goals. These are not just for bodybuilders. When you go to the gym, your body goes into muscle protein breakdown. You've broken down those fibers. If you do not consume enough protein to overcome that, then you can't build muscle. You literally cannot build. Now, in your first year, this is what guys hit me at. In your first year, it's magical. You're going to get really strong real quick. Your body won't change, but you'll get real. You'll think, man, I'm doing everything right. That's because your body is very sensitive to lifting. So you think you figured something out until about 8 months into it, and you're spinning wheels, and now you're wondering. So find a good workout program. Make sure it is proven. Women don't need women programs. Men don't need military workouts. It's pretty much the same thing overall. And when I write a program, I want to find out injuries. I want to find out what do they like and not like. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's only so many movements everybody's going to do. It's about the same. There's 6 king movements you got to do. So doing your own workouts, guessing at it is the first problem. Number 2 is not hitting protein goals. You're guessing. I talked to a guy today. I said, are you tracking proteins? No, I think I get about 150 a day. I said, I've never seen anybody that guesses that gets it right. You've got to learn to track proteins. That's the first 2 problems is your workout is not built for you, or it's kind of garbage. And then secondly, you're not hitting your protein goals. Thirdly, what I would say is this: you've got to push to technical failure. Now, what does that mean? That means the last rep. If you're doing 8 reps, working out is just doing 8 reps and stopping. Yeah, I do 8 reps. That means nothing. Your body doesn't care about reps. Your body cares about mechanical tension. On that last rep, you want to be able to get there, and you're kind of a little bit shaken and you finish it. You're done at that point. Muscular failure is you need a friend spotting you and you're struggling for your life, right? I wouldn't suggest that. That's how you get injured. But technical failure, whatever you're doing, that last rep needs to be very hard, and you're struggling and you're done. Just how your body builds muscle is you got to have progressive overload. You got to have failure. And progressive overload means once you hit that rep range and you've done 8 reps to failure and you're feeling good, the next week you come in, Mark, you're putting 5 pounds on there. You're overloading it. You're building more. And then you've got, again, to go to failure when you do it. So that's the mistakes I see all the time. And then you're just not tracking. People go in the gym and lift and they get really excited, but their body doesn't change. If your body is not recomping within 6 to 12 months, then we need to go to the drawing board. That means you have a very
Yeah.
unhealthy lifestyle of eating, or you're maybe overtraining.
That's good. That's good. So break that down. When you say if your body's not recomping after a certain amount of months, what exactly does that mean?
Well, I mean, you don't usually go to the gym to look like a certain thing, right? It's not the thing that drives you, but the byproduct of proper strength training is body recomposition. Now, here's what that means. That means your muscle to fat ratio. And the more fat you have, the less muscle you have, the more diseased you are, the more sick you are, the more susceptible to everything you are, right? You're in poor health. What you want to do is get that. You don't just lose weight. You can lose weight and you can lose fat and muscle at the same time. Dude, if I showed you a picture of me at 162 pounds and then me at 175 pounds now, I looked like, I mean, I had a little tire around me. My arms were little and frail. I looked like Captain America, if you've ever seen it. Remember the movie? Like
Oh yeah.
before he's Captain America,
Yeah.
like he's skinny and scrawny. And I'm like, I was so happy. But I want to get rid of that belly, right? Well, you don't do that through
Yeah.
crunches. You don't do that through, a bunch of ab workouts. I had to go in and recomp my body to build muscle and lower my fat. So what happens is for women, they get that physique they want, right? For men, you have the V taper shape. You start coming in, you get the wide top, the skinny bottom, instead of men being the upside down V where you're little up here and you're fat around the belly. You start seeing that women start losing fat. They start having more lean muscle mass. And no, women, you will never turn into a bodybuilder by lifting weights. I promise you, unless you get on anabolic steroids and you're pumping testosterone through you. I promise you, I've never seen that happen to anybody. Women need to lift weights just like men.
Mm.
Cardio will not get you there. Cardio is a great tool to add for VO2 max and for burning fat, but you want body recomposition. And that's going to come through proper nutrition and building muscle.
So good, so good. Evangelism on fire. You're getting some major wisdom bombs here today from Kevin. Come on now, this is amazing stuff, and all facts, all truth. So for someone who feels overwhelmed, you get this all the time. People are like, "Well, I feel overwhelmed," and they don't know where to start. And you kind of covered this. You kind of covered this a little bit, but please go into it in more detail. What are the first 3 steps you would recommend for someone I feel overwhelmed? I don't know where to start. What should I do?
Well, first of all, you're going to Haplotes Health at Haplotes Health on Instagram and Facebook. YouTube will be up soon, and then podcast by next year. We're getting that going, but you're going to go there and follow that. The first thing you've got to do is stop guessing. I've watched people, you've seen them. They start these little fitness journeys, and they're so proud of themselves, and you're watching them drink smoothies full of sugar before they lift weights, and their body never changes. And they quit about 4 weeks into it. We've
Yeah.
watched people carry their own journeys. You're like, because here's what you have to do. You got to be humble. What do I do if I don't
Mm,
know anything? Be humble. Shut your mouth if you're not getting results. If your body is not recomping, that's what I had to do.
yeah.
Mark, I used to be so proud of my workouts. Oh man, I do curls and then I bench and I'm doing step ups and I was so excited about it. You probably even heard me like so excited about these things I was doing. And I was getting no change. So first of all, be humble, which means you
Yeah.
need to go and learn. So the first thing I would do is find a reputable source that, again, you can learn from. Become an expert in it. Listen to the podcast. Now, when it comes to practical things, what I would say is, first of all, just cut out all sugar. Sugar is the king of every heart issue, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Don't have time to get into it, but guys, it's cancers, high sugars. Cancers love sugar. Cut out your sugars, man. Processed sugars. Watch those daily. You've got to do that. But what I would say is, if you're brand new to health and fitness, man, eat whole foods. Okay, you're going to prioritize protein, and man, have your meat and your veggies, right? Make sure you're getting high fiber. Make sure you're getting whole meats and all that. You're gonna number one, you're gonna eat right, cut out sugars. Number two, you're gonna walk 10,000 steps a day. What I'll do for 10,000 steps a day. That's the first two things I would do. And the third thing I would do is learn to track your food. You don't need to track forever. Like tracking's for a season. But if you want to reach your goals and to know what things are, do that. Now, to add an honorable mention, fourth mark, you will never get to where you need to go without resistance training, strength training. You'll never get there.
Mm,
You cannot bypass. I don't care how much you hate it. Your body has got to. Insulin resistance happens the fatter you get. Well, the more muscle you have put on and the lean, you don't have a lot of visceral fat, you remain insulin sensitive, which is so important. So that's what I would say to people if they're doing that. Be humble, go find somebody to help you. Uh, you know, eat whole foods, prioritize protein, veggies, cut out your sugars, make sure all sugars are gone, right? Walk 10,000 steps a day. And then thirdly, start resistance training. If you can do those things and just start there, you will build the foundation for everything else.
so good, so good. Spot on. Now, hey, Kevin, there's listeners listening now, people watching right now, and they're thinking, well, I don't need resistance training. I'll do everything else that Kevin mentioned, but I don't feel like I need resistance training. What do you want to say to them right now?
Yeah, well, you're going to age poorly. I mean, that's just, I can't help it. No, I mean, I think the problem is they don't understand human biology and how that works and what muscle actually does. And no, you don't have to be a bodybuilder, but muscle, that's what amino acids are all stored in there. And that's how we fight off diseases and sickness. And so you can lose a bunch of weight and lose muscle mass, which is, called sarcopenia, very dangerous.
Mm,
People on GLP-1s right now are losing tons of weight. They're losing so much muscle mass and so much bone density. So I would say to people who are like, I don't need resistance training, well, you've got to have that muscle to fight off disease and sickness. You need to be sensitive, not insulin resistant. And you can only do that through strength training. And the only way I'm telling you, man, to make sure, like for instance, as you age, and let's talk about people who are aging. I'm close to 50. You've already visited 50. We won't talk about that. But as you age, you've like, for instance, strength training is not strength training, it's functional movements for life. Think about this. The moment you cannot get off a couch without help or pushing yourself up, mortality rates, you got about 5 to 7 years probably left. Go ahead and you see your grandpa do it. You better go and prepare your heart because you cannot get up, and that's the thing. So, what does a squat do? A squat strengthens your hips to be able to get blood flowing to your hips. So people need hip replacements, they never squat. They never
mm,
learn how to squat. So they get no blood flowing in there, and they get no, and that's life. Blood's got to flow through there. You squat fully down and get up. I don't need you squatting 300 pounds. I need you doing it. So I worked with a couple the other day and was working with them, and they are older, and I had them doing air squats to a box at first. And I said, I need you to, then I said, here's the next step. Once you can hit the box and get up, I need you to use the box to brace yourself, and you're going to try to get as far down as you can. I said, I need your hips to get moving. So people are like, I don't need resistance training. Well, when you have hip surgery and you have knee surgery and you have all these surgeries coming up, I'll pray for you, brother. But the problem is you had a chance to be able to fix that. And here's why I say that, Mark. Let me say this. My knees 8 years ago were in the worst shape ever. I had patellar
mm,
tendonitis. I was on meloxicam. My hips, my ankles hurt. I ran all the time. I played basketball, but I didn't resistance train properly. And man, I was in bad shape. And that
yeah,
meloxicam hurts your kidneys, as we talked about the other day. And so I was taking that all the time. What fixed it? Strength training.
that's right.
Not on it anymore. My knees don't hurt. My hips don't hurt. Squatting was one of the best
Yeah.
things I've ever done. So again, when somebody says that, they're just ignorant because those movements of an overhead press, that means you want to raise your grandchild up and look in their eyes and have fun with them. You need an overhead press. If you want to
Yeah.
reach up and grab cans off the top shelf and pull them down, that's lat pulls, right? Like every
Yeah.
movement you do, bend over and touch your toes. That's a deadlift movement. Like everything you need for functional life is in strength training. It is not something that bodybuilders do. It's movements for life. So that's what I would say. I'm sorry, I'm passionate about it, but
I
man,
love it.
yeah, dude, I mean, listen, I got
I
guys in
love
the
it.
gym, 68 years old, phenomenal shape. They do all these movements. They built muscle,
Yeah.
So like other guys at 68 or walking around, hobble around everywhere. You're just not going to have a great quality of life as you get older if you don't
It's
resist the
true.
strain. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. So, Kevin, tell me, how have you seen physical fitness positively impact someone's spiritual life in walk with Christ?
Well, first thing is discipline. It's just like a bachelor's degree. A bachelor's degree means nothing, right? Except this in ministry world. This person had the perseverance to finish something, right? The same thing with strength training is discipline and consistency. Following Jesus takes consistency. Champions in the kingdom do daily what losers do occasionally. I'm
Mm,
gonna say that again. You like that so much.
yeah.
Champions
Yeah.
do daily what losers do occasionally. And so losers, I say this in the kingdom, I don't mean to big, but they are losers are losing out on what God wants or losing out what they do. They read the Bible occasionally. They pray occasionally. They fast occasionally. They share their faith occasionally. They occasionally attend. Champions are consistent. They do it daily. And the first thing that happens is if you can go in and have the consistency and discipline to change your body and recomp your body with muscle mass and lose fat, man, there's nothing you can't do.
Come on.
There's just a commitment. And you know what? I want to speak to the men out there for a second. What breaks my heart is, man, we don't have warriors anymore. Just the kingdom of
Speak
God,
it.
man. We got fat men running
Speak
around
it.
yelling at people, telling them what
Come
they
on.
should
Speak
do.
it.
We're overweight in our bellies. It's like, man, go be a warrior. Let your kids see you pick
Yeah.
up heavy weights and put them down. Let your kids see you prioritize protein. Let your kids see you go, kiss your wife, hug your wife. Like, let your kids see that and talk to them about that. Now, whether or not they follow, that's right. But we don't have warriors anymore, man. We have literally, I did a post them on personal page. We have Homer Simpsons, not Bravehearts.
It's
And you know
true.
what? And we need
It's
men who
sad.
say, man, I'm gonna pick heavy stuff up. I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna go through the pain. Instead, man, we're just gobbling down fats and carbs and becoming fatter and weaker. And then we're wondering why men don't want to follow. About men in church not want to follow us. Listen, I ain't got a problem with men leading in our church. I'm gonna tell you something. What I've seen is that if I can discipline my body and be an alpha, then I can lead men. But
Yeah.
you cannot be a wuss. You can't be somebody who's a people pleaser. You can't be somebody who's going to avoid pain and then be a great leader of men. Men can sniff that out. And so if you want to see men change in your church, brother, you need to go and be a warrior. Stop being a wuss. And I don't mean to be rude about it, but especially, let me say this, guys who are in ministry, that are lead pastors, what are you doing? All it takes is 3 days a week, 1 hour to go in and lift. All it takes is a little bit of intentionality. So to eat right. What are you doing? So yeah, so what does that mean in the kingdom? Number one, consistency and discipline. You will never get to the vision God has for you based on desire, based on
Mm.
how you feel.
Kevin, say that one more time,
You
brother.
will
Say that one
never
more
get
time.
to the vision God has for you based on desire and motivation. It's based on
Mm.
discipline. Discipline builds a bridge from your where you're at to the vision God has for you. I mean, people look at Thrive Church, Mark, and we just had a lot of discipline over many years. We're radically consistent. We're really boring. We just keep doing tweaking, rinse and repeat. They got to have that. And that will affect their life, man. And then it gives men confidence. Men walk around with their heads down, bellies out, no confidence, low self-worth. I mean, if you can recomp your body and walk into a room and you get attention from men and men say, I want to look like you, bro, that's like the greatest compliment ever. The secondarily, let me say this. Your spiritual life is only as good as your physical life. Your
Mm.
gut
One
is
more time. One more time. Say that one more time,
your
Kevin.
physical life or your spiritual life is only as good as your spiritual life. So your spiritual life is only as good as your physical life, excuse me. So if you have a horrible health and you eat garbage, you're not going to feel good. You're going to have more anxiety, more depression. You're going to have more mental health issues. You're going to have low self-worth, low self-esteem. You're not going to sleep well. And the major thing is your gut, man. Your gut is your second brain. Your gut
Mm.
fights off diseases. Your gut is so important to serotonin and dopamine. And a lot of guys are living off cortisol and adrenaline, and they're not, I mean, and they have such poor health. They have brain fog all the time. I got brain fog. Well, I would too if I ate like you. right? I mean,
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, wow, you just run around like a chicken with your head cut off and you're eating out all the time and eating terrible foods. So what has helped me is clarity of mind to be in the best mental shape of my life. I can get more work done now than ever. I not only work at Thrive and I have a side now coaching company, but also work as a consultant as well. So like I'm also a active father and husband. So like I have a lot going on, man. It's busy every single day. To have the brain energy and focus, it's because I got my physical life in order, and
Yeah,
that affected my emotional life. And so people
yeah,
just don't realize that.
yeah. Man, so good, brother, so
Yeah.
good. I'm gonna tell you what, your passion, man. I just absolutely love your passion, man. You're on a mission,
Yes.
not just to lead people to Jesus, man. You're on a mission to make people healthy and make people have a physical transformation as well as a spiritual transformation. I absolutely love it,
Yeah.
man. If every listener committed to just doing one thing this week to improve their health, what would you challenge them to do?
Well, for everybody, it's different. So, what I would say is what you always want to do is just start a new habit. And so when that happens is it's almost like, it crowds like on a shelf. You only have so many things on a shelf. If you start the one habit, which I'd say this, drink or eat nothing but protein first thing. No smoothies, no carbs. And the reason is, listen, if you're a bodybuilder, yes, sure, do that. If you're lifting heavy weights and powerlifting and you look great, now if you don't look great and you're very obese, you don't want to eat a bunch of carbs. You're probably insulin resistant. But what I would say is to the normal person, skip the carbs, eat protein first thing, high protein. 12 grams is not high. Get 30 to 50 first thing in the morning. Let your body burn fat. Build that habit. And when you do, that's going to push out those other unhealthy habits in the mornings you're doing that's ruining your day. Start with that habit. And my thing is, Mark, build that habit first. Then after about 2 months of that, 3 months, now start the next habit. Maybe now you're going to aim for steps per day. So it's always building one healthy habit for you that will replace unhealthy habits. Don't try too much too quick. That's what I would say.
That's good. That's good. Now people are listening and they're thinking that one habit to establish that would take 1 to 2 months. And they're thinking that's just way too slow for me. What, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. What would you tell that person right now that's listening?
This is a lifestyle change. I hate, hate, hate the name weight loss drugs and the title rapid weight loss. I hate it. This is a lifestyle change. As a matter of fact, if you're losing weight too fast, it's horrible on your body. It is horrible. You're crashing your metabolism, your sarcopenia, osteopenia. We talked about like I want it fast. Lifestyle changes aren't fast. And even with the
Come on.
peptides that I work with and the people that, are part of that space, they're, researching them and going through it and even using them. It's not, I don't want anything quick. I want to rebuild your health. We're going to rebuild what has been lost over the years. So again, if you want something quick, go eat at a fast food restaurant. They can get it quick for you. If you want to rebuild your health, start low and go slow and build habits. Don't do 75 hard. I have so many friends who've done that and they don't, they're back to where they were before. Don't do Daniel fast. Don't do, I mean, all these gimmicks that are short lived. You're building, and you probably need to go read the book Atomic Habits, by James Clear and say, listen, I need to build these atomic habits in my life because protein, I just told you, that was 10 years ago. I started that. I still do that today, where protein is first thing, protein is prioritized. That habit has always, come on. Yeah,
That's so good. That's so good. It's a lifestyle change.
it is.
Break that down a little bit more because people really need to understand that. So just add a little more detail to that for those that are
Yeah. I mean,
listening.
you think about it, you've ruined. Can I say ruin again? Your metabolic and mitochondrial health. You've eaten processed foods. Our body doesn't recognize it.
Mm,
Our gut biome is like, what is this? And our mitochondria can't use it. So anytime you eat anything in a package, I don't care how healthy it says it is, our mitochondria is like, I'm not sure what this is. What do we do with it? It's
yeah.
hurting your body. Again, it also interrupts the life of your cells. So your cells don't die like they should. Your cells are starting to get screwed up. You know why people, all these diseases and things we have going on, guys? It is processed foods. Trace it all back to there. I don't have time to go in depth with that, but the processed garbage has ruined you. Your sedentary lifestyle, sitting around doing nothing, has ruined you. So what's a lifestyle change? It's rebuilding from ground up, from ground up. And you're going to rebuild again foundations of exercise, resistance training, nutrition, again, those healthy habits. And then if I believe those who are older, man, and I say older, I mean my age, even younger, the use of peptides to reopen your receptors once again, because as we age, it's not rocket science. People, if I ask you the question, and you probably would know this, I think we've discussed it, is why do people age and what happens to make them age? Now, that question there is really simple. It's autophagy. Whenever you're younger, your cells replenish at the same rate they're dying, right? As you age, those cells don't have the same power, the mitochondria anymore, to replenish those cells again. So you're losing more cells than you're actually gaining, right? So that's how aging happens. And so, yes, there are ways to slow that down, not reverse it, but we can slow aging down. The second thing is your mitochondrial health, man. ATP, think of one word, ATP, that's energy, energy for our body. The mitochondria produce ATP, right? It runs on little things called with NAD. It runs on roads with that and delivers it. And that's how we get energy. That's why you're so much so much more full of energy when you're younger. Well, why is it now that you're tired, you got brain fog, your mitochondrial health is broken? So, I mean, you can lose weight, but it fixes none of that. You've got to go in and rebuild your health. So a lifestyle change is this house is broken. I need to tear it down and I've got to rebuild this so I'm not sick all the time and in the hospital all the time. My body's breaking down. I hope that makes sense. Lifestyle change because it's rewiring your whole body's inner system, right?
Yeah.
You're not just trying to just eat healthy, just eat healthy. You've got to have that goal in mind. Yeah.
That's so good. No, that's a great explanation of lifestyle change. I mean, very impactful. There's people out there, they're watching, they're listening right now, and they're hearing about this lifestyle change. And they think like I'm not like that other person that has the ability to make a lifestyle change. And that is just a lie. That is just
Amen.
mistruth. They're lying to themselves, right?
Yep.
So for that person, what kind of wisdom would you give to them and encouragement would you give to them that they can make a lifestyle change?
Well, the old adage, you've heard this, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you can't.
Oh,
So I would say, first of all, we all have to confront lies we tell ourselves. The most dangerous liar you'll ever come in contact with is not somebody outside of you, it's you. Because you literally lie to yourself of why you don't or can't or won't. And at the end of the day, you can do anything that you want to do and put your mind to it. So what I would say is, hey, listen, if you're believing this lie and this narrative that I'll never be this, I'll never be able to do this, then you've got to go in and say, why am I believing that lie? Because that's a complete, blatant lie that you can do that. It's not genetics, it's none of that. People say that, obesity runs my family. Well, nobody ran in your family. That's why, yeah, you've heard that thing. So, because listen, I was there, Mark, and I'll tell you for
yeah,
me, what was my biggest lie? I had FOMO, fear of missing out,
yeah,
and I loved good food. I didn't eat a lot of junk food, but man, I would load up on some baked ziti, on some lasagna, on like we make it all at home, right? I would just eat and eat and eat and eat, and I would eat a lot of good food. And I thought, man, if I go down this journey, I'm going to lose this thing that gives me comfort. The addiction to food and bad foods is not just an appetite problem. And people that are taking GLP-1s and 2s, even 3s, just for appetite problem, that's not your problem. Your dopamine receptors want instant, quick fixes. And every time you eat the candy bar, your dopamine spikes and you feel good again. Every time you grab a slice of pizza, you do that. I mean, whatever the ice cream at night, it's because your dopamine's not working correctly. It's not going through your body. So you have a dopamine issue. A great book, and you can put this in your show notes or out there, is a book called Dopamine Nation. Helped me tremendously. This is what we've seen too. Let me just to chase this rabbit. This is a strategic rabbit trail I want to chase. This is a really pretty
yeah.
rabbit. I don't want to let him go. I see him going. Is resistance training. There were studies done recently with teenagers who have depression. They gave them yoga. They gave them some elliptical, some running, some just a sport, and then some resistance training. At the end of that study, it was hands down those who did resistance training had a reduction in their anxiety and depression symptoms greatly compared to anything else. One of the things that happens is when you strength train, you realize you have a lot more control over your life than you really do, but it changes your delayed dopamine receptors. I mean, your instant dopamine receptors to being delayed. It's delayed gratification. And so that candy bar is instant dopamine hit. Porn is instant dopamine hit. All this is dopamine hits. there's a dopamine problem you've got to fix. And so that's what I would say there is that don't think you have a food problem. You've got a dopamine receptor problem.
Wow, that's so good,
Yeah.
man. That's the most beautiful rabbit anyone's ever chased.
Well,
Come on,
thank you.
man.
Yeah.
That was
I like the
amazing.
rabbit. I thought it was a good rabbit. Yeah.
That's amazing. So look, I only have one more question for you, but I just want to say this to the audience, man. I've been in the health, the fitness space for many years. Used to be passionate about it. I still am to this very day, like you are. You remind me of the old Mark when I was in the health and fitness space and wanting to change the world through physical fitness, and weight training, weight resistance training, all that. Man, you're on fire, and I'm gonna tell you something. You have a unique ability to take something that's complex, not only with the word of God, but with all this advice that you're given.
Yeah.
Nutrition, information about the peptides, everything. And that's why I know so many people are attracted to you, so many people that are following your workout programs, man, they're seeing results because
Yeah.
I just want to say this to you, man, and I really mean this. I've been around some of the top level athletes, some of the top level professionals in this space, and you are one of the most knowledgeable,
Wow.
out of all the people I've ever met. That's why I was so excited to have you, here on the very last episode of
I'm
Evangelism on Fire
honored, man.
podcast because, I got to tell you, Kevin, the world needs to be healthy, and what you're offering to the world is just amazing. And I fully support you and everything that you do.
And
So before I ask this go ahead,
yeah,
my
well, I said,
brother.
but yeah, before you segue with that, I just want to say too, like, I think as Christians and leaders, man, stewardship is leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership is stewardship. You can't divorce the two.
Oh,
So, to not care about your health as a Christian leader is you're telling God, I don't care about the gift you've given me in this body. Like you give me life and I don't care. And it's
yeah.
really a sad thing. And I saw something the other day people were posting about in the fitness group that I was in. Well, I wish pastors didn't care so much about about being so fit and looking a certain way. And I understand what they were trying to say, but it's kind of throwing shade. Here's the thing. So you want a pastor to like not care about his finances, to be in loads of debt,
Mm,
not care? Well, it's the same with your body. You want a pastor to not care about their children? Like we should. Leadership is stewardship. And if you cannot steward your body as the temple of God, then what are you doing? I mean, I don't know. It baffles me. So again, leadership is stewardship, and what I'm teaching is stewardship. And
yeah.
I believe every believer, this is part of stewardship that matters. So I hate to interrupt you, but I just had to get that off my chest, man. Yeah,
No, that's so good. You know what that made me think of is this is one of the things that makes me just really, really angry is I don't understand how pastors or leaders of churches are some of the most unhealthy people on planet Earth
I
because
know.
they're not good stewards of their body, their holy temple, right?
hmm
What would you say to the pastors right now that are watching or listening that they're not a good steward of their body? What advice would you give to them?
Well, I mean, number one, it's stewardship. I mean, you have to. And if you're not, you're not leading at the level that you should lead because as you get older, you don't have to age poorly. You can lead late into your life. Your body does not have to fall apart. You don't have to be sick and have surgeries and heart issues and all that. Like, I mean, I just say, listen, all that's avoidable, and you can lead well late into life and have a great quality of life as you age if you'll grab onto this. I just say and if I mean, bivocational still, you have no excuse if you're a bivocational pastor, but full-time pastors, like, what are you doing? Like, make that a priority because when you go into the hospital and you're sick because you never took care of yourself and something happens to you, they're gonna find another pastor within a couple of months. They're interviewing somebody and somebody's gonna fill your spot and there might be a plaque there about you, but you're gone. So you realize don't sacrifice your health to try to take care of everybody else first. Take care of yourself and then take care of them. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to say this real quick too. Before I was a Christ follower, my whole world revolved around health and fitness. And I didn't have any other greater motivation in my life
Mm,
other than going to the gym, working out. That was my identity at the time. And I remember, and there's people listening right now and watching right now, and people that you're going to, do training for, and that's going to come to Haplotes Health that are going to be in the same position that I was in. I remember if I didn't have a gym to go and work out in, I wouldn't be alive today.
yeah.
I remember at the worst time of my life when I didn't even want to live anymore, that the gym was my sacred space.
Mhm.
The gym was the place that gave me hope. And, I just want to share that with you because you're offering people hope that maybe don't even have a desire to live or have no greater hope other than being healthy, being good stewards of the body, and going to the gym and working out. It's such an important mission that you're on,
It
man.
is. Let me say this quickly too, is that recomping my body, building muscle, burning fat, looking more like, an Avenger than Homer Simpson. I've been honest. I have so many more relationships in the gym now. People want to talk to me, and I use that for evangelism to build
Mm,
relationship with them. They don't know my pastor. I mean, what guy the other
yeah.
day, he stopped me, 68. His name's Bill. He said, "What do you do?" He said, "Are you like in the pharmaceutical world?" I was like, "No, Lord, thank God, no." I said, "No, I'm actually a pastor." He's like, "What?" I mean, he was like, "Wait a minute." Like, he's like, "How do you know all this other stuff?" I was like, "That's what I do on the side." We talk, but and then it's just building relationships with those guys where people open up to you. So the gym's actually an amazing mission field if you will go there. And I'm telling you, it's even more amazing when you are the dude, you're one of the dudes you walk in, people want to learn from you. They want to talk to you. They want to figure out what's happening, and you use that leverage eventually for the gospel. So,
Yeah. So good,
yeah,
so good. So, here's what I would love for us to do as we, end this pod episode. I'm gonna ask you one last question, but after you answer that question, I want you to take as much time as you want to speak about anything that you wanna speak about and share that with our audience. Just drop some wisdom on them and just share about anything that's on your heart. So, here's the last are you game for
I'm
that?
totally game. Yeah, that's great.
All right, let's do it. So here's the last question. Where can people find your fitness page and learn more about your personal training that they definitely need? Where can you point them to for that?
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook. That's Haplotes, Haptloes, Haplotes Health, and that's at Instagram and Facebook. To go there and follow that. I think that's the best way to follow everything that I have for them. And I think the final thing I would say to people is this is something I'm really passionate about now is peptides. And, we've discussed and linked about it, had some great conversations, is that, man, it is an amazing tool. I mean, I am watching people regain their life, watching grown men cry, high blood sugars, didn't know what to do. And literally overnight, they're like, I feel like I'm 25 again. And peptides are simply, people are like, what are peptides? Well, they're just short chains of amino acids that are connected by a peptide bond. So researchers go and find out, like, okay, so this is how this peptide is created. Like insulin, insulin's a peptide. People don't realize that, but
People don't say that again. People don't realize that.
insulin, like if you're diabetic and you're taking insulin, that's a peptide. That's that they have
Yeah.
synthetically created the same amino acid breakdown with peptide bonds. Is that's insulin. That's how they created. And
Yeah.
so all peptides do is as we age, our receptors close down, our hormones shut down. I mean, at 40, your body then starts preparing for death. So testosterone lowers, your estrogen levels lower, like everything just starts lowering. Your insulin resistance, it's hard to fight that unless you have a lot of good muscle. And so what peptides do, man, they come alongside as a tool to help you. And people, and I think the thing I want to say, I hate to say, well, I'm gonna do it the old fashioned way. Well, you can't do it the old fashioned way because I eat very clean and take supplements and lift. That can't replace peptides. Peptides comes alongside of that and gives me the extra that I need, right? So I would say to people with that, why I want to do it the old fashioned way. Well, okay, well then do you send letters all the time by a mail or do you do email? Do you take the stairs or the elevator? Like, do you use an old rotary phone or your cell phone? So it's the difference between your health is taking 100 flights of stairs and trying to make it versus taking an elevator there. And peptides are such an amazing tool, man. They can do, it's not like there's a podcast you sent me, and literally the guy is like, what can peptides not do? Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Like, even our mitochondrial health, there's a protocol to help people rebuild mitochondrial health. And it goes in and actually rebuilds your mitochondria. They're not drugs, they're not androgynous. And the thing I would say is pharmaceuticals will attack an issue like blood pressure by thinning your blood out with statins, right? But they're not fixing what the kidneys are signaling and doing because there's danger in the body. And so you have to understand that what we're doing is with pharmaceuticals is you're correcting something, but you're hurting something else. And so, the rabbit trail, I'm not going to go on, but yes, pharmaceutical is a machine and it wants its money. And they're going to say everything they can about peptides to scare you because it's getting money out of their pockets. Right now, peptides are one of the hottest things ever. And here's the thing I do want to say. There's not been one adverse life event with any peptide that we've ever used that we know of.
Not even one. Not even one.
Not one.
That is scientific truth. That is a medical fact.
Not one.
Yeah.
Not one. So I mean, like, if again, you can't have side effects from peptides. The only reaction you may ever have is if you're dosing too high, is you're not getting guidance or help and you need that. Or, sometimes you may have a histamine response, which is normal to certain ones, but it's not like pharmaceuticals. And I think, man, it just drives me crazy when people are like, well, I don't want to put that junk in my body. It's like, man, you literally God has given us a blueprint. Like that's technology is a grace that God's given us, right? We have that and we're not going to use it. And so rebuild mitochondria, gut health. I literally, bro, just somebody text me all this. There's just a holistic doctor taking all these supplements and they can't get any traction. I said, well, here's what I've seen. I've seen people around me, diverticulitis, all I talked about leaky gut, all fixed because of BPC 157 and KPV, right? And there's others you mix with it. Like those two have literally people like, it's gone. Autoimmune issues, we're seeing thymosin alpha 1 get great results for people with autoimmune. I mean, it is absolutely phenomenal. So what I tell people is this: do not believe the lies of big pharma. Creatine's not FDA approved, right? Eggs aren't FDA approved. Steaks aren't. Chicken isn't. Your whey protein's not FDA approved. But Fruit Loops are. High corn syrup. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, research peptides do go through vigorous. There's not enough evidence. I'm telling you, there's a lot of evidence, and you can find it if you want it. Do not believe the lies that FDA and big pharma, they're in bed together. They don't want you doing it because if you go, and I've seen this, heal your blood pressure through a GLP-3, not one or two, and you heal it through that, your body starts I've seen it. High blood pressure, high sugar, and all that. What's happening? Now you're not buying the statin they're trying to sell you, and you'll never need it again. So it's taking money from that. That's what I really want to assure people, man, is like, there's so many myths. They're not safe. They cause cancers. We've never had one peptide in the history of mankind that you can ever go to through any study that shows it causes cancer. The one thing, I'll end with this, Mark. This is super, super interesting. The one that they started fear mongering was called BPC 157. Love BPC. It fixed my leaky gut. It was bad. BPC 157 is found in your gut anyway. Like your stomach acids don't destroy your gut because there's BPC 157 like a super healer the whole time healing it, right? So FDA wanted to look into that, see what they could do for it, and try to how do we get this thing we can patent it and use it and make money off of it. So they knew it was safe, they knew it was efficacious. Like, how do we do this? Well, around that time, as all these talks were going on, another company wanted to patent finding breast cancer genes. You know this, right? And so what the whole thing was this: you cannot patent something that is found in somebody's body naturally. We can't patent blood. We can't patent people's organs, right? And so BPC 157 was already going through millions of dollars of trials, and they had to dump it. And so we can't do that anymore now because it's found naturally in your body. So what happens? Everybody, their mama starts saying, well, because BPC 157 heals the body and causes angiogenesis, if there's an active tumor in your body, it could hypothetically grow that tumor. Hypothetically. Now, I began to study. I was like, well, have we ever had that happen? No, they've never seen it happen. So hypothetically, that's kind of fear-mongering people, right? The C word scares them. The latest study they have, and I'll leave you with this, they took rats, had a cancer tumor in them, and they wounded the rat. They put BPC 157 in there. The BPC 157 healed the wound up. Record time, never touched the cancer. And I'm saying this to you. There's a lot of lies being spread because Big Pharma is scared to death of the peptide space out there. So I just want to get off my chest, man. That's passionate for me.
No, people need to hear that. Now, I was one of these people. So there's people that are not familiar with peptides. They haven't researched them. They form their own opinion, their own thoughts about what peptides are. And they have absolutely, they're ignorant of what peptides are. I was one of these people when they first started coming out at the rate that they're coming out. I made judgments and I'm like, no, peptides, no, it's just not the way to do it. I'm going to eat my greens and go to the gym and work,
No, and
which I'll
do that. That's
and do
awesome.
that, right?
Yeah.
Do that. And I will continue to do that. But then I realized I'm like, man, I don't really even know much about peptides. What I'm thinking is coming from my own thoughts. I started doing research and I started doing diligent research, and I was fascinated by what peptides are
Mhm.
and that they're available for anyone to use for better health.
Yeah.
So, for people like I was, they have that mind frame, and this wasn't but a short period of time ago. People who are thinking like me who are making judgments without knowing what peptides are. What kind of wisdom do you want to share with them right now?
Well, I mean, essentially, they're just short chains of amino acids. They're not drugs, and they
Yeah.
don't mess your body up. They don't go in and rewire things. I mean, people that took the COVID vaccine but scared of peptides, that's wild, man. The mRNA vaccine, like, and they're scared of peptides. It just reopens receptors. As you age, your receptors shut down. Imagine this is the easiest thing I can share with you with time we have. When you're young, you have a foreman, and that foreman, in the way the pituitary gland, the thymus gland, it is like, let's build everything. Come on, guys. Every morning he gets to workers there. He's sending out people to the testosterone, to people to go to the HGH levels, IGF-1 levels, HGH, everything. All these receptors, all these workers are just killing it. You can eat what you want. You look lean. You're doing good. As you age, though, that foreman's like, whew, oh, I'm a little tired. All right, boys, just three of you go out there this time. The rest of you, and then what happens is your foreman does not work like he used to. Your workers aren't going out like they used to. Things aren't being rebuilt, and you don't heal up as quick. You don't, you're not seeing the same results in your life. What peptides do is it goes in, it taps the foreman and says, "Hey, buddy, I need you to wake up and send more workers out. We need it." So, like with BPC 157, it's just like, wake up, go send these workers to heal that injury, or for your gut, BPC 157, go in there and heal those gut issues that's going on. So that's simply what it does. It just tells the foreman to go do that again. And again, we've never had one adverse life event with anybody ever in the history of peptides, as we have with a lot of pharmaceuticals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. As we close out one more time, Kevin, thank you again
Thank you.
for giving us your wisdom and your knowledge on all these topics. One more time, tell our audience where they can find you at, my brother.
Yep. At Haplotes Health, HAPLOTES Health, on Instagram and Facebook. And you can always email me at haploteshealth@gmail.com. Again, we work with customized strength training programs for you. Customized, it can be at home, it can be at a gym, wherever. Nutrition plans help you understand your calories, your macros, everything else. And then also research peptides to help you kind of find out what research peptide may be something you want to look into.
Kevin Bordeaux, thank you so much, my brother.
Man, it's an honor. And dude, you're such an encourager. Guys on Evangelism on Fire Nation, you need to know that this guy's the number one encourager for me. I love him. He's the real deal. Just like he is here, he is everywhere else. And thank you for your encouragement, Mark. Love you. And best of, not just luck, but best of God's blessings and favor over Mark Thomas Ministries. And you're going to be at Thrive here in about a month talking about that too. I'm excited. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for the opportunity. I
yeah.
love you, my brother.
Love you, man. Thanks.
Thank you. Wow. What an amazing interview with Kevin Bordeaux. Next week is the week we've been praying for. One more time. Next week is the week we've been waiting on. After years of God using the Evangelism on Fire podcast to encourage believers to boldly share the gospel, we're stepping into an exciting new chapter. Next week, Evangelism on Fire podcast officially becomes the Mark Thomas podcast. The mission has not changed. It's expanded. We'll continue equipping believers to share the life-changing message of the gospel of Jesus Christ, while also providing biblical teaching, discipleship, revival-focused content, and resources to help you grow in your faith and fulfill the Great Commission. Here's the good news. You don't need to do anything. Simply continue listening right here on the same podcast channel. your subscription stays exactly the same. And every new episode of the Mark Thomas podcast will automatically appear in your podcast app. Man, I made it super easy for you. Hey, be sure to stay subscribed. Invite others to join you and get ready for an exciting new season of ministry. I truly believe God has incredible things ahead. Man, the best is yet to come, and we're just getting started. I'll see you next week for the first episode of the Mark Thomas Podcast.